Hey everybody, and welcome back to Age of Strife. So, the rest of the time passes uneventfully, and sure enough, the caravan does come back right on the nose. They make it back on February 12. And with them, they bring a stonemason who comes with his wife and two children. This will cost you 8 GP for the stonemason's transportation and all that stuff.
Okay.
You had some armor that you wanted to buy for your troops. That's ready already. That finished up in January. So your
Yeah.
troops now all have leather armor and spears, 2 spears each. You have
We getting shields?
you wanted shields built, right? It's been more than 2 weeks, so yeah, you've got shields built. Go for it, as long as you paid for them.
I don't remember.
Make your best guess then. And that 10% fee that you guys were being charged is being washed out by the money that what's his name brings in. Maximilian
Thanks.
is bringing in for doing the engineering surveys. So we don't have to worry about the 10% fee, so that's fine.
Nice.
Cool. So, what is your plan? What subject do you guys want to focus on today?
Did they bring in my silver armoring sword and mithril dagger?
Yes, they did.
Oh boy.
You paid for those up front already, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Does a silver armoring sword weigh any different than a regular one?
Ooh, it probably has a slightly different weight. Let me check.
It'll be a little bit more, I think.
Yeah. Silver, it's going to be 20% more. What's the arming sword normal weight?
2.5 pounds.
So now it's 3 pounds.
Okay.
Okay.
Your mithril dagger weighs less.
It weighs a third, right?
Yeah, it weighs. Let's just call it 0.3 pounds.
Okay.
0.28, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we discussed bringing orders for the next time plate armors. Not necessarily full plate, but maybe
Yeah,
best
plate
plates for us three.
Yeah.
Because they're affordable.
Sure. So you want to buy breastplates for the 3 of you?
Yeah.
Let's see. That's 350 gold each. Plus the
Right
20% fee that the merchants charge for bringing things up here.
20%.
That's 1,260 gold. You guys to
Yeah.
get breastplates.
I think it's better for us to get each a breastplate than for one person to fully suit out in full plate.
Yeah, definitely.
Is this something you guys want to do?
Yeah.
I think so.
Right
yeah.
now, me and Luther don't have any armor.
Excellent.
Unless we've got backup armor. Tobar had backup armor, yeah?
Yeah, but we gave that
No,
to
we gave that to Arthur. So, yeah, we don't have armor right now.
Okay. So this is all doable. One of the people in the caravan will take very careful measurements of you guys, measuring just about everything they can to make sure that this plate armor can be built without you and will be properly fitted. It's part of their 20% fee for everything. So chip out 1,260 gold right now.
So much.
Oh dear. And we'll also talk to them about having. They didn't happen to bring any horses to sell with them, did they?
They have a certain number of horses that come with the caravan. It's pulled by oxen, and there are some horses with them. They might be willing to sell the horses that they have, but it's going to be a higher price.
That's a lot better than paying nobles for horses. So I
Yeah.
guess I'll ask about that, and if they say they might sell them, I'll have Arthur take a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have 3 horses that they would be willing to sell to you guys. since these are horses that they are actively using, they're using them as like patrols and mounted cavalry to chase away bandits and that sort of thing. They come with, I think, caravan has 8 horses to begin with. They'd be willing to sell 3 of them and head back with just 5.
I got it wrong, right? My character still has full chainmail armor. It's just Luther's was lost
Yeah,
in
I
Nixon.
just everything.
Yeah. Are you buying the plate still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna get chain limbs too. I don't have any.
Okay. You have to import that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So that's another 60 gold on top of the 1260.
Okay. Let's deduct that.
Where's our horse table? Horses. Where are you hiding?
Are they willing to sell an ox?
Excuse me?
Would the caravan be willing to sell an ox?
You can buy oxen here in town. You don't need to purchase them through the caravan.
An ox looks like a good beast of burden compared to our usual donkeys.
Oh, great beast of burden. Little bit stubborn, a little bit slow, and they take a little bit more food, but they are a lot stronger than donkeys. Okay, let's take a look at the 3 horses that they are willing to sell.
Obviously, if I get a horse, I won't get an ox.
So 2 of their horses are fairly average, and one of them is a little bit older and kind of broken down with a reduced movement rate and carrying capacity.
Just put it down.
It's not ready to be killed. He's just a happy older horse. Okay. So if you want to buy their horses from them, since they're horses that they're actively using, and they brought them all the way up here, they're going to cost 115 gold each. Because they're not willing, they're only willing to part with these horses if they can make a lot of money off them because they're using them for security reasons. So that's the limit, or that's their point at which they're willing to let them go.
Okay, well, they're gonna be in town a little while, right?
Yeah, they'll be in town for a week.
Okay, so I can go inquiring about the horses that the nobles have that would cost extra.
Yes, you can go inquiring to the nobles if you'd like.
I guess I will. And it feels bad.
Okay. Let's see. It's not great. All right, so between the various noble families, there are 5 horses that are on the market. Average. Okay, so there's at least 2 average horses, and the rest are a little bit older and not so great condition. They would be willing to let them go for, how much would they sell these horses that they want to keep? Probably more than the caravan. I think they would sell them at double price, 150 gold.
Caravan then.
Yeah,
Screw all the other nobles.
that's
You would
115 each. Ooh, yeah, sorry.
All 3 of our horses to be able to keep up with each other, though. So the one that the caravan has that is a little bit slower wouldn't be what you're looking for.
Didn't you buy the high-spirited horse already?
Yeah.
Yes. So the high-spirited horse is a little bit faster, but our other
the
2
caravan
horses that we want would have to be at least.
Right. Yeah. So the caravan has 3 that they're willing to sell. 2 are normal average horses. 1 is broken down. So you could buy those 2 for 115 each, bringing a total to 230, and you would have 3 horses.
Okay. What are the new 2 horses looking like?
All right. One of them is named Caboose, and he is a black horse with a white triangle on his chest.
Oh, that's nice.
The other's name is Simba, and he is a tawny. I think that's the right color. Right color?
I'm gonna have a look.
Crap. Yes, he is a. I think. On Google, help me out here. Sure. He's a tawny colored horse, like a tan colored guy with a
pale
big
beige
white
with,
mane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
a
ones I've
pale
got
white
too.
mane and kind of tan color all over him.
Lucas gonna lobby for the black one, but
Yeah.
you call it caboose.
Seeing the white triangle on Cabooses' chest just looks very cute and it's good. But if you pick that one first, then it's okay. And I'll look at the other one. What was his name?
Simba.
Barney? Simba.
Much
That's
better
an
name
okay.
than caboose.
You don't like the name caboose for a horse?
Well,
What?
not really.
What?
How could you not like that name?
You
Luke
can
is going to
rename it.
instruct Arthur to make sure this horse knows that its name is now Vinny.
Vinny.
Well, if you're renaming the horse, I might rename the horse, but Simba's an okay name.
How long would it take to train these horses to be light war horses? Or medium war horses?
Hmm.
They're already
They're
aged.
Right, so they're riding horses. They just need the proper training to ignore sounds, to ignore odd blows, to not be bothered by the confusion and mess of warfare. That, let's see.
Is that kind of training basically torture?
No, not really. I mean, learning anything is a painful process for people, right? Learning how to fight is a painful process for humans because you get beaten up all the time while you're learning.
Learning math is a painful process.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's probably unpleasant for the horse, but they're learning to be comfortable with unpleasant things, so it's not torture. No more
Okay.
than, using them as beasts of burden is torture.
Yeah. All right.
I want to say the training to get a horse from a riding horse to a medium war horse is like 6 months.
Yes, that's gonna be a while.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Probably why light war horses are so much more expensive.
Yeah, there's a lot more training put in with them. I might revise that number the next time we play, after doing a little bit more research, but my guess is 6 months.
I guess I should roll HP for Vinny.
Please do, and Autumn, would you roll HP for Simba?
I've decided to rename Simba.
Oh, Vinny, why?
Oh, Vinny!
Why?
Oh!
I was trying to use a lance, Vinny. Are you gonna die?
I'd like to rename Simba to Roy.
To Roy?
Yep.
No, yeah, we have Roy and Vinny.
Oh, Roy.
I decided this ahead of time too. It was gonna be Minnie if it was a female horse.
I mean, he's got the white mane. He looks like a Roy to me.
That's fair. That's fair. I can't believe you guys renamed Caboose and Simba.
Caboose was
Good.
an excellent name.
Thank you. My mother-in-law's horse is named Caboose. Why I named us one Caboose after that.
What is the white riding horse AC?
It's 13.
Same as donkey. Movement is 24.
Yep.
And do they come with a saddle?
Sure. We'll include saddle and bit and bridle and halter with all of these things. I think I got all the right components. And reins.
Saddlebags.
Not saddlebags.
Yeah, the saddle with some bags on them. It's not like a pack saddle, but
Yeah.
you can fit stuff behind you on the horse, definitely.
Did Ryan have a horse named Saddlebags?
Someone had a horse named Saddlebags.
Thing. Yeah.
I don't. In some campaigns somewhere there was a horse named Saddlebags. So,
Didn't we also name it Donkey that?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. One of your
Yeah.
donkeys was named Saddlebags.
Back in,
Yeah, it
that
was.
dream time when nothing happened and never happened, that donkey was called
Yeah.
Saddlebags.
Oh yeah.
Dream times.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd
What
like to
else?
head out into town, and ask about the soldiers that came back and see how they're surviving here in this terrible town that they've been away from for a while.
Sure. Would you like to visit them, or would you like them to come and visit you? Because they will, they will come if you call them to come.
I'm thinking we have a small meal with them, and maybe the whole family could, just honor them as soldiers,
Sure.
as we are the fighter family. So I'll arrange that. Send a message to them, ask them to come around on one of the evenings. How many of them were there? 3?
3, yeah. Their names are. Their names are Luke, Red, and Thornton. So, you have dinner with these fine fellows one night. You guys are in your house. What's the sound pad that we're looking for? Is there anything in particular you want to set up before we actually hop into the dinner, or just normal dinner? Nothing special you guys want to do for it? No.
Oh, just ask them to come around and
Yep.
casual-ish, nothing too special.
Fantastic. So you sit down to dinner with these 3 soldiers, one missing an eye, one missing a hand, one missing the leg below the knee.
I'd love to see the awkward part where Kel Reginald goes to shake hands with this guy, and then they're missing the wrong hand, so it's impossible.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So after eating some food, I'll talk to him back. So we've heard the news of the orcs that you fought against. Monstrous as you've been told.
It was a rough time, says Red. Crazy monsters. I saw one big as a tree. Must have been 9 feet tall, at least closer to 10. Axe the size, well, not quite the size of this table, but definitely the size of the chair I'm in right now. He came barreling down towards us. It's insane. The man to my right froze in fear and couldn't move, from just stared blankly ahead as the orc cut him to bits. That's how I lost my hand. The axe went right through him, cut clear to the bone. Doctor had to remove it when I finally got out of there.
What about the forest? People say it attacked.
Thornton speaks up and says, "Aye, the forest most certainly did come to life. I was near the back, not because I was running away, mind you. I was part of the rear guard. And once the drums started, and hours after the drums started, because they played the drums for a long time before they hit us, I saw the wagon next to me. A tree just reached down and wrapped its branches around part of the wagon. One of the branches from another tree came around and wrapped itself around a horse's neck. A person got lifted up by one of them branches, and just the arm ripped out of his socket, fell to the ground, and then the grasses themselves came out and to hold him and pull him down, pulling his face apart, cutting the flesh wherever the blades touched it.
That's
Horrific sight.
that sounds like a lot like witchcraft.
Oh, it was most certainly some sort of evil witchcraft. Them orcs are just as... They're dark practitioners, just as much as them elves might be. Maybe even worse. At
Yeah,
least the elves have sense to keep to themselves. These orcs are looking for trouble. I tell you, should be making
And
peace with the elves and all working to take out these bloodthirsty, monstrous beasts.
agree.
are they safe down south? The capital, is that... Will the orcs come breaking down the gates if they're this big?
We defeated them on the open field when we first arrived. It was a glorious victory. Cavalry routed their right flank. We hit them hard in the center, and they just splintered and ran. But back in the woods, oh god, how the fates, how the winds of fortune change. We lost about a quarter of all of our troops, almost all of our horses, lots of weapons and shields, carts, feed, supplies, maps. Oh man, there's still a lot of soldiers in the Black Guard left, but not looking good. I think as long as we stay out of the woods, it should be okay.
Certainly sounds like it. If you're not anywhere where the trees can attack you, then it's a lot better than.
They didn't have any cavalry of their own. Open field is where we could really work, but God, we lost so many of our horses in the forest. I don't know if it's going to work out. Hard to replace a horse, you know.
Certainly
Soldiers
is.
are easier to get than horses.
Well, you guys can enjoy a peaceful life here in Wadsworth. Hopefully, we don't have an orc threat. You might have heard of the giant that came, attacked our wall.
They were saying down at the tavern that a Hagthor himself came and ripped the walls down.
Hmm.
Could have been him.
Mhm.
It's hard to
Either
tell
way,
minds apart, I guess.
we will not provoke the giants, but we've got defenses. Working on it.
Were they still fighting the orcs when you last saw them? The rest of the Black Guard, that is.
We pulled out of that forest and... Well, that was that. We left. You know, wounded and all. We headed back with the messengers and caravans and took the dangerous road all the way back up here. Passed by the other side of the Blackthorn Forest, the south side of it. Saw some strange shadows moving in there. Rumors came through one of the towns near Ditchwater that dwarves were spotted one afternoon moving from the mountains to the Blackthorn Forest. Rumor has it the dwarves and the elves have been... No. I don't know if it's trading or trading secrets, or if they're fighting each other, but there's been movement spotted between them.
How does Kel Reginald look hearing this news?
He is as stoic as ever, not letting anything show.
Okay.
Let me just do a quick... I forgot to update some of my overlays. What's Ginger's HP?
28.
8. And Luther's HP?
19.
And Arthur's HP?
My HP to 11.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, well, I guess we finish up dinner, and I'll say thank you for your service, and for that they can rest here in Wadsworth.
They thank you for the meal, and you guys go your separate ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Next on the list, what do you guys want? What are you guys up to?
I need to get a lance made, I guess. I think it says they can be made in town. They don't need a specialist or anything.
It's not in red?
Nope.
It would just
Then
be
you
a
can...
long pointy stick.
Yep. You can go ahead and make yourself a lance then. Or
long
have a lance
pointy
bot.
stick that does 44 on charge.
Hmm.
So a lance compared to a spear is some sort of thing that is balanced so you can hold it in one hand and brace for charging, right?
Yeah, a lance is a little bit longer, a little bit heavier, and it's got a bit of a guard around the front of it, so to protect your hand. And it's got a bigger weight on the back of it too. But the front of a lance is very similar to the front of a spear. Is that true? That might be a complete lie.
Well, it's pointy.
It's pointy, but I don't. Yeah, it's not quite such a. It's not a spear point. It's more of a conical edge.
Yeah,
But it does cut. It tapers back,
Instrument,
and then
I
it
think.
cuts in.
Yeah.
So slightly different than a spear. A lot bigger, a lot heavier.
And I think after that, Luther wants to. I guess I'm going to talk to Max first. Ask him how the wall plans are going.
Max tells you the wall plans are coming along quite well. It's just a matter of having all the right people and getting it done.
Well,
But
the Masons here came in the other day with the caravan.
excellent. You could definitely use one. Been sorting bricks and getting fill ready for the middle of the wall, clearing the area and starting to build it, but it'll be good to have a proper stonemason to guide the men. I'll see him put to work right away and get his opinion on how fast he thinks the wall can be made. I think by the end of the week we should have a project timeline fully fleshed out.
Do you have an estimate of how much stone we'll need yet?
Not a ton. I mean, a lot of the stone has been broken. I think we'll probably need to get maybe 25% of the total stonage for the wall. You said you secured a source of it from Nixon?
Yes, the western side of Nixon is mostly safe now. We'll probably have to go down there and clear the rest out. But after that, there's a ton of just unused stone lying around that we can ship back up.
Sure. We'll have to talk to someone about carting it up. You gonna take the river or you gonna cart it by road?
We've thought about that. I suppose either could work, but the river seems a little bit dangerous.
Definitely.
More dangerous than the road, probably.
Probably. Faster, but more dangerous.
Depending on how much we need, we could try to get just a resettlement of that area started and have the militia go down, and they'll escort shipments up once it's being gathered by the people who go to move it. I suppose
Resettle
yeah,
Nixon?
just the west part. East part's still really dangerous, but
What about the
bridge-
monsters?
The
You don't
bridge
think
between the city, it fell last time we were there.
You don't
we'd
think
have-
there's a danger of them swimming across? Can they swim?
I would say they probably could, so it's still very dangerous.
Yeah, we'd probably settle not all the way up to the river, and the idea would be to have the militia there, at least some of them stationed there, to protect the town.
From first-hand experience, I really don't recommend that the militia actually fight these monsters, but instead protect people and help secure their retreat if it becomes dangerous.
Well, if that's what's going to be happening, why even set up a settlement at all? It's certainly we'd have to go and figure out that side completely before we did anything. But
We don't need a settlement, just a camp while we salvage the materials.
that's what I mean. Setting up camp there, if there's just going to be monsters charging out of the river, how much is really going to get done? We'll have to make sure it doesn't happen.
Reginald scratches his chin for a little bit and goes, you leave me in charge with our boys in a couple of weeks or so, and I ought to be able to help keep them clear. If it's a simple embankment on a river, Well, I know a thing or two about keeping that safe. Creatures swimming across are mighty vulnerable to arrow fire, and I only got the one hand. Could Maybe we could get some crossbows. Those are real easy to train people with. Prevent anyone
Certainly
from coming across the river, or at least discourage them mighty heavily, and take them out once they get here.
that's certainly an option.
Kel Reginald, when you were last in Nixon, did you see the carp with the legs?
What?
The carp that came out of the water on legs.
William shakes his head. A carp with legs.
They were certainly that was the thing. It was
That sounds ridiculous.
quite unexpected. We were
Fish with legs.
It was about
well,
as big as a dog or so.
You've been to Nixon, you've seen the freaks that exist there.
I've seen the weird looking creatures with the long leathery arms that reach out. Seen all sorts of bizarre things. Man with the face of a horse and claws of a wolverine. Seen all sorts of monstrosities.
Did you ever see they were black and white, I think. They seemed to be organized and
The zebra men.
Hmm.
I've seen them moving around in groups. Don't quite know what they do. Don't know if they move in groups because they all look alike, or if there's some sort of order to it.
You ever hear them
creatures.
chant before?
I heard funny noises coming from them, but I try to stick to the shadows, stay away from large groups, Carefully and quietly pick my way through the city. Try to, not
I
engage.
think that may have been the better option.
I told you guys were too green to head out there, but I suppose now that you've been
That-
tested by fire,
I
you
seem
should be able to
remember you
handle
told us
yourselves.
that we should go there, but
Maybe in a moment of weakness. All right, so I think dinner finishes up. The soldiers head back to their own places, go about doing their own things. The stonemason is here. You guys are providing him lodging in your house, I think.
yeah, we have spare rooms. I guess we have to have his kids in the house too.
Well, yeah, I
maybe,
mean,
maybe he can live in the house, and we have like a house in town for the family.
that seems weird. I think he's going to want to stay with his whole family.
Okay.
They are commoners, though, so he and his wife and their kids can all stay in the same room. They're children, like
Yeah.
5 and
Yeah, I
6 years
think
old.
they're better in
At least
one room.
Marcus can have some friends now, maybe. Also,
Mhm.
my read languages is up to 30%, so I'm going to try
Ooh.
those journals again.
Ooh. Oh, no. Still completely indecipherable to you.
The one thief skill I can't pass.
You get to make a separate check on different books, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's unfortunate. Did I?
Arthur wants to pull Luther aside one of these times and just have a conversation with him.
Okay.
So Lord Luther, I haven't been here that long, but we've come across some very strange things in the time I've been here. You said one time you were attacked or your father was blinded by a wizard or something like that, or a witch.
Certainly something like that. Nothing happened to his eyes. He just went blind.
Do you think maybe instead of just blinding him, he cursed your family? I say that because in the short time I've been here, we've been attacked by 2 ghosts, a werewolf, all kinds of strange tentacle monster things I don't even want to talk about. But just it doesn't seem normal. That doesn't happen to just anyone.
Our family may be cursed, but I'm not sure that it was the work of that whoever that was.
No. Well, why would you be cursed then?
No, there's all sorts of strange stuff out in the world, and a lot of times they go looking for trouble, I guess. Oh, not necessarily looking for trouble, but in a sense we do.
Suppose so. You
It
gotta.
must be nice to be like all these other noble houses, just sitting around in town not doing anything. But we have to go out and find money somehow, and that's usually what gets us into trouble.
Suppose that makes sense.
Maybe one day we'll get a nice village set up and won't have to work so hard.
Maybe after we clear out the goblins, we can, or you can argue for one with the countess or something like that. She seemed like a nice lady.
I think she might be one of the few decent people here in the town.
Well, I hope nothing worse happens to us. That's maybe it's too much to hope, but we'll see.
I'm sure it is. Something will happen eventually.
Okay.
So, what next?
So Luther still has no armor.
Right.
Um,
You've got your shield. I'd like to take the militia out for a quick patrol of the swamp. Have a look around and see what we're up against. Doesn't necessarily have to have any fighting with goblins, but I'd like to have them at least see one when they're ready, which is in like a few weeks. So that's
might
not
be a good idea.
right now. What else do we do?
I think we'll need to go scope out the western part of Nixon again once we get armor.
Yeah, of course.
Because I don't know where else we're going to get stone for this wall.
Okay, so you guys are going to head to the western side of Nixon and clear it out?
Maybe once we get armor. I don't know about that. Although I guess on horses no, maybe once we get armor.
Well, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to just skip until the caravan returns? You can skip ahead another month. Or is there something else you guys want to do in the meantime?
I feel like there's something we can do, but skipping ahead is the easy option right now.
Yeah, we need to get the stone. We need to start clearing out the swamp. I want to go talk to the Countess and the Wyatt about those two things too, but it seems weird to do it before we can actually do either thing.
Okay.
We could go scout the swamp, see if we could find out something about where the goblin encampments are before we actually go engage them.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Arthur had leather armor before we gave him the chainmail, right?
I had a gambison.
The gambison. Does the gambison fit Luther?
You put a belt around it, and if it's
It should. Yeah,
too big, you close it in on you.
I'm kind of small, so it might be big.
Yeah, Arthur's big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like 60 pounds lighter than him, so you're definitely going to need to cinch it up with a belt, but it should be fine.
Okay. Well, I guess
Pounds lighter and 14 years older. In and out in your old age, losing all that muscle mass.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's right. Arthur's got 16 con and 16 con and strength. That's why he's buff.
Yeah.
So Gambison's gonna be 2 AC. It'll be fine. I have 19 hit points.
Tons of HP.
Also, we're going to the swamp. If there's goblins, you leave it to the fighters.
Well, Yeah, let's hope there's no ooze things.
Goose things.
Do we know how well the horses do in a swamp? Or are we just gonna find out when we take them in?
Last time us and donkeys went were at half movement, whereas the goblins and their beetles were at full movement. I expect horses are the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't do so well in the swamp.
Was
Especially
it- was
horses
one-
because they're heavier and so their feet
was-
sink deeper. It's like
It was
walking
one
in the
third.
snow. A bunny can hop across snow no problem, but a dog is going to get stuck in the snow because it just sinks
Yeah.
in. I
Still
highly
fast
recommend
moving
against taking horses into the swamp. See Napoleon's invasion of Russia.
Uh, so, how much of the area north of Wadsworth is swamp, and how much of it do we need to clear to,
Well,
secure the mountains?
Let's take a look at the map. All the slightly darker green stuff, like this with the purple stuff in it, is swampy. But minus this hill that sticks out of the swamp.
Okay.
So
So,
if you want to clear a path to the swamp, you get to design the path that you want to clear. You can build it wherever you want.
we'd want to go directly north from Wadsworth and then probably straight across the hills, or without going into the forest, and then towards Tuk-Tuk Mountains like that. Does that sound reasonable?
It's reasonable.
Yeah.
We're at break time right now, so why don't we take a break while you guys think about the swamp planning, and we'll get to it on the other side of our break.
Okay.
Okay. See you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.